Welcome to Wind Down with Kev, a weekly podcast with Kevin Spann, the insurance guru. Each week, listen to Kevin discuss current hot topics with community leaders, business owners, and more.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Kevin.
Excellent. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the second episode of Wind Down with Kev. Joined by a wonderful guest on this evening, Miss Jennifer Ashley with Beats by J. Ashley. So let's start talking first about the most important thing. What's in your glass?
Okay, so I have a Cabernet.
Nice.
It's by a brand called Luscious. I like them.
Okay.
Pretty decent price too. It's about $18.
Nice. That's a cut above the that basic one, but it gets you what you want. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're drinking a Cabernet by Luscious. Tonight I'm drinking a Chardonnay by Butter Knife. And I know nothing about wine, but it's supposed to be silky, peary, and butter taste. So I like Chardonnay. That's my preferred go-to wine for the night. So thank you for joining me on my second episode. For those of you that don't know me, I am Kevin Spann, the insurance guru, and this is Wind Down with Kev. Wind Down with Kev gives me an opportunity just to talk to people about how they wind down and relax a little bit with all that they have to do. Tonight, I have a wonderful guest, as you can see and as you can hear, is Miss Jennifer Ashley, Beats by J. Ashley. I'm going to say it wrong several times, so why don't you stop me from messing it up and tell the people who you are and tell them a little about yourself.
Yeah, so it's Beat by J. Ashley, just beat, no S at the end. And I am a makeup artist. I've been doing makeup for a little over 15 years. I've done a movie. I actually done 2 movies, and I've done a couple of celebrities, and that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Beautiful, but there's more to you than that. I spent some time scrolling you and stalking your IG page today, so I'm definitely going to ask you about your celebrities. I'm going to ask you about your movies because I didn't see that. I did see some fabulous things. But before we got on the call, I got to see another side of you. I know that you're a newlywed and you're the proud mom of a handsome young man. Talk to me about that.
Oh, yes. So my husband now and I got married last year, and we've been together going on 10 years in November. And we have a 2-year-old son named Chase, and he's going to be 3 in September. So life during the pandemic has been very interesting with a toddler and, trying to work and just, do other things. So it's been interesting, but we're here, we're alive, and we're good.
That's a beautiful thing. And that's actually what this is about. I think I shared with you that during the pandemic, I'm a person that works a lot, like you work a lot. The pandemic forced all of us to wind down and find ways to relax. So I'm glad you and your new husband, your new baby, I'm glad everybody is good. Talk to the people about how you wind down. How do you relax?
Okay, so I've taken up meditation. That's been incredibly helpful for me because I get anxious because, my mind is always running. I'm thinking of something new that I have to do. I have to do this. I have to do this with my son. I have to, work. I work 2 jobs, so it's just like I'm always on the go. I'm so busy that I did not know how to quiet my mind. So someone suggested that I try the Breathe app. There's one called Calm, and there's also one called My Life. I like My Life the most because pretty much what it does is you get to input what you're feeling. So like if you're anxious, if you're angry, if you're frustrated, nervous, it lists a bunch of different emotions, and it asks you how you're feeling emotionally and physically. So you put the things in, and then they give you a meditation. So what ends up happening is there's like a list of 3 different voices. There's a man voice, a woman voice, and sometimes they're 3-minute meditations, 2 minutes, 8 minutes. It depends on what you're comfortable with. And you will be so surprised how anxious you are when you realize that you can't keep still, because they tell you to sit up straight, and try not to move. And then when you start trying to focus on what they're saying and you're like fixing your pants, or you're like, what is that sound? Like you got your eyes closed and you're noticing things. And that's when you realize that meditation is really necessary, because it makes you get rid of all the outside noise and calm down your.
Well, you dropped three jewels right there that I have to repeat to make sure anybody that's listening to it gets it. She just shared three applications on your phone that you can download. I believe they're free. I'm going to restate it. I think I heard you say Breathe, Calm, and My Life.
Yes.
Okay. That's everything. If anyone didn't have any anxiety before, I think all of us are going through some pandemic anxiety, some post-COVID anxiety, and definitely is something that's necessary. Of the three that you mentioned, the only one that I've heard of before was Calm, because LeBron is one of the big promoters of Calm. So that right there is what this is all about, just having open, honest conversations, dialogue to help somebody else. Okay, so that's a beautiful thing. Take advantage of those meditations. Those meditations, do you usually do them in the mornings or in the evenings?
I actually do them in the evening, because that is the time that I get to myself, because my son is up 7 o'clock in the morning. So if I'm doing meditation, we're doing meditation. So, and it's fun it's actually kind of fun, because sometimes he joins in, but I like to do it at night because it kind of helps me sleep a little bit. The Calm app is really good for sleep.
Outstanding, outstanding. That's awesome to share with people, to learn that. Something I definitely can relate to that you said is the 1,000 ideas running through your head and 1,000 things to do at all times. It's scary the amount of things you can think of, and then when it's time to do them, it's very hard not to do it. So those three tools are jewels, and it's definitely going to help somebody that's listening to this program. Okay. So talk to us about your business. Tell us about the services that you offer.
Okay, so I do provide in-home services. I normally go to my client's home. I give them the VIP celebrity. I bring my own chair, my own makeup light, and I do their makeup. I do a lot of weddings. So I go wherever my client goes for venues. I've been out of the country to do makeup for people's weddings. And I also provide lessons as well. So I teach one-on-one classes to teach other makeup artists how to get on my level, so to speak. And also people who just don't know how to put their makeup on. There's wives and mothers out there who just want to know how to do their makeup when they have to go out or go to a meeting. And I teach. I offer classes as well.
That's awesome. I tell you, if anyone didn't appreciate how important a makeup artist was, if you watched any TV during the last 3 months, and I like nighttime television, I think that the talk show hosts are some of the best communicators in the country. But if you see the newscasts and the talk show hosts without their makeup, it's rough. They don't look like we think they look.
What you normally used to seeing them look like. Yeah,
absolutely. It's very different. It's very, very, very different. It's amazing. So you do a good job. Speaking of TV, one of the things I saw on your page, I saw you on you had Good Morning America. Talk about that.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. I actually did Good Morning America with Ashanti. She was promoting one of her movies, and I got to go on the press run. We went everywhere. We went to New York. We were in New York City. We did TRL. We did Good Morning America. We did Strahan and Sarah. We did a lot of shows. That was actually one of the best moments of my life, because I got to do TV makeup, because that's really what the end goal is for me, is to do daytime television makeup or movie makeup. So Ashanti is great. She's a great client.
So tell us more about Ashanti. We know Ashanti from her music. Obviously, she's amazing. You did a beautiful job with her on the makeup. Anyone that goes to your IG page, which is
_ Jennifer Ashley, JENNIFER, and then ASHLEY.
Okay. You did some beautiful work taking care of Ashanti and many of your other clients. How long have you worked with Ashanti? How did you get to know her?
Okay, so I started out doing Ashanti's sister first. I was recommended to someone by to her little sister, and I've known her sister for, I don't know, 7, 8 years or something like that. So whenever her sister needed to go somewhere with her, she would never use Ashanti's makeup artist. She would just come to me, and we have like a bond where she's like, no, 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 I just want Jen to do it. So one time Ashanti needed a makeup artist for the VMAs. I think that was in 2018 VMAs, I want to say. And she called me in the middle of the night at 1:00 in the morning and said, Jen, I need you to come to the city first thing in the morning. Ashanti needs some makeup done for the VMAs. And I was like half asleep. I was like, what? my trial run with Ashanti for a major award show, and I was terrified. My light fell, and my makeup light fell, and we rely heavily on those to make sure that they look appropriate under the camera lights. And I was mortified, but I got through it. And when I got in the car, my phone started getting all these alerts, and I was like, oh my God. So I just, I just flipped the phone over. And I was like, I'm just not going to look at it. And I was just driving in silence. And then my husband, he was my fiance then, he called me and was like, why aren't you answering the phone? And I was like, I don't want to know. Is it bad? And he's like, I was like, she looked good to me. And he's like, no, she went viral. She got best dressed.
Oh my God. That's insane.
Yeah. So that's the start of our relationship, me being clumsy and, the light falling, and here we are today.
but you got it done. So let's go back to that moment. Let's go back to 1:00 in the morning when you got that call. Obviously, You said yes, but what did you have to do that next day? Did you have a 9 to 5 that you were supposed to go to, that you had to call in and say no?
I had a 9 to 5 at the time. I was working for an insurance company, and I was like, I can't do it. I don't want to call out of work, and my husband was like, are you crazy? He's like, wow, this is the moment you've been waiting for. What are you doing? And I was like, all right, I'm going to call out. I was like, my brushes aren't clean. He's like, you clean your brushes on the way to work. I'll drive you to work.
Yes.
And I was like, all right. So I went to work. I acted like I was sick. And then I left. And here's my karma. I was on a road and made a right turn at a red light and got a red light ticket thing because I didn't come to that full. I did a stop, but it wasn't the full stop. So I ended up getting a ticket, but it was still most amazing moment of my life. So I was like,
it's worth it. I'm a dream chaser, so I'll tell anybody this: when you chase your dream, it's going to come at a price. For anybody that's listening that wants to be in that entertainment world, that entertainment space, that world does not exist in the normal 9 to 5. It's common for recording artists, from midnight until the next day and whatever it takes. So her calling you at 1:00 in the morning, that's normal for them. And you had to drop what you're doing.
Yes, it's very normal. And it's something that I had to get used to, because their time is not the 9 to 5 time, so they'll be up 3:00 in the morning and like, hey, I have an idea. So that's just the way it is in the entertainment business. So it's definitely been different, juggling too, because sometimes I work a 9 to 5 also. So, it's like I live a double life. I'm like, Clark Kent and Batman, the makeup Batman at night.
Yes. That's a good thing. Well, there's a lot of people that's going to listen to this, and they're trying to develop that other side. They are Clark Kent by day. They're dreaming about their Batman. I think these last 100 days that we've had, I think any entrepreneur or anybody, entrepreneur or not, should have had one great idea that they can take action on. Me doing Wine and Dine with you is just one idea that I'm taking action on. So that's what it's all about. It's just about taking action long before everything is perfect, but just jumping out there and doing what you have to do in order to get things done. There's another way to say it, but I don't use profanity much. But the initials are GSD. It has to happen. You got to get stuff done. I'll say for the purposes of the podcast, you just have to do it.
Right.
Let's talk about the movies. What movies did you have a chance to be a part of?
I got to do the Meek Mill documentary that was produced by Rock Nation. And you know what's so funny? I totally forgot that I did it. Called in to do the head of Rock Nation. I got to do what is her name, Shari, and a few other people, and I totally forgot because it took so long for them to edit and get everything together. I did activist Tamika Mallory's makeup, and then she ended up being a long-term client going forward after that, and she's been everywhere. So that was really fun. And I got to do a movie in Michigan with Ashanti, which was a Christmas movie. And that was on Lifetime. And that was fun. I was away for an entire month and some change in Michigan in the cold weather. And it was crazy.
I've seen that movie. I can't call the name of it. So you've been around Ashanti, you've been around Meek Mill. I haven't seen the documentary, but his story is amazing. His backstory is amazing. So you've been around some incredible people.
Yeah, I got to, I didn't get to meet Meek Mill, but I did get to meet one of the vice presidents of Rock Nation who, works with Jay-Z. And then Shari, who actually just became another president of Rock Nation also. So, yeah, I met some really big women in the industry and had no idea.
That association with Rock Nation is incredible. People know Jay-Z. Most people don't know how big his vision is and how big it is to really help other people get started. So the fact that you've had a toe in that door will lead to a foot and lead to you being really a big part of it, because Rock Nation, they control a lot of sports and entertainment and everything that we touch and everything that we do. So that's a huge contact for you and maintain it. So when you're not working with celebrities, when you're not on movie sets or documentary sets, obviously the bulk of your business comes with everyday people. What's that been like with weddings and everyday stuff that you normally do? What's the adjustment been like for you the past 100 days?
Well, my clients have been very upset. They haven't been able to book their weddings and things like that because, unfortunately, we're not taking any clients whatsoever. I'm not even taking deposits. I mean, people are like, I'll give you this. I'll give you half now because I don't want you to open your book and then I can't book my wedding. And I'm like, I understand, but until the state is open, I'm not open because I have asthma. I can't put myself at risk. I didn't even do Ashanti's concert that was here, the Millennium Tour, because I didn't want to risk getting the coronavirus. So unfortunately, if I said no to her, I got to say no to y'all too.
It makes a lot of sense. It's such an individual decision for everybody. So as we record this, is June 11th, 2020. We've moved into phase 2 in Suffolk County where barbershops can open and salons can open. Does that mean that you're allowed to open and do business as well?
It does, but to me, until I'm feeling 100% comfortable, I'm more than likely not going to, just because I need to see that curve totally flatten. Right now, it's still a little bumpy.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I'm in the same space. I'm making adjustments to reopen, but I'm not in a rush. This rightfully scared everyone a lot. I always believe in respecting my opponent, and right now, Rona is a legitimate opponent that I don't take lightly. So I think the whole world's going to do the same thing. I think they're going to make slow adjustments.
Yeah, because as a makeup artist, we are standing about this close to you. So because we're that close, even when I'm sick, I don't like servicing anybody. If I even have a little bit of a sniffle, I'm like, so if I'm already saying no because of that, sanitation is very important when you do makeup. So, safety first. I would never want to put anybody at harm.
I think everybody would be happy to hear that. I don't think anybody would want to do business with people in this time that isn't careful and cautious, not only in their own life, but in their approach to business. There's a time to be aggressive and conduct business and make a lot of money. And then there's time to wind down and relax. Speaking of relaxing, how are you doing over there? I haven't seen your glass move in a while.
I was talking. I didn't want to,
That's okay. That's okay. This is all about the wind down. We've talked about the meditation apps. Let's talk a little bit about your history and my history. You've been my client for a very long time, but we didn't have a chance to meet in person until some very difficult circumstances about a year and a few months ago, last March to be exact.
Yeah. I have been your client, I want to say since I was about 17 years old. Like as soon as I learned how to drive, my insurance was sky high. My dad was complaining and my friend was like, oh, you should call Kevin Spann. She's like, he's great. He's professional. You did it. So she talked you up real good. And I've been with you ever since. And we never got to meet in person. And then last March, my house was in a fire. And you called me. You said, I saw you on the news.
Yes.
And I was like, what? I was out of it when I didn't even realize that I was like on camera. It was crazy. It was a crazy time in my life. But I was so grateful that my agent, you came the very next day, you walked the property with me, and you took a lot of the burden of worrying about the insurance portion of the fire. Obviously we had to heal emotionally and, because we lost everything that we owned, but you took a major load off of our shoulders because we were, I almost forgot I had the renter's insurance. And I was like, everybody's complaining. They're like, I don't have renter's insurance. And I was like, oh my God, I have renter's insurance. And then the next thought was, oh my God, how much is it? Because I forgot. I just pay it every month and never really thought about it. I will never not think of it again, though.
It's all insurance is something that you have and you hope you never need. I won't forget that day because it was in March of last year. I was watching college basketball, March Madness. And I said, let me turn basketball off. It's 11 o'clock at night. Let me watch something intelligent. And I saw you on the news and I said, oh my God, that's you. And we were there the next day, but I'm so glad you had it. So glad whatever small role that we were able to play to put you and your family back together. Excuse me, I owe you a thank you because I met many of your neighbors that next day. And since that time, I've been able to insure some of them. So thank you. Thank you very much. That's what it's all about, getting to know people.
Honestly, I'm like the biggest advocate for homeowners insurance or renters insurance after that happening. As you know, I increased my policy.
Yes.
I was like, can we add more?
Yes.
$18 or whatever I pay a month is nothing because you could spend that in a fast food joint for getting a meal for two people. So obviously it's worth it because insurance is really in case something happens, and the in cases in life really do happen. And I'm I'm living proof of that.
Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. So we talked a little bit about this already. I talk to a lot of people that are still in a space that they think they're going to go back to normal. I'm very much not a proponent of that thought process. I had a very active life prior to March 16th, my birthday of this year. But that's when the coronavirus got really, really serious. That's the day I shut my office down. That's the day, sometimes some people may think this is aggressive, but I say that's the day the world ended. The old world as I knew it. And this is a brand new world that we're living in right now. So talk to me about your mindset. Are you thinking of going back to normal, or are you focused more on moving forward?
I honestly am going to just focus on moving forward. I don't believe that there's normal, that normal that we knew is gone. It's forever changed our lives. Like we have adapted practices that I probably will never get rid of ever again. Making sure I take my shoes off before I enter my house, taking a shower and not walking around my house in the same clothes I was just outside with, cleaning off my groceries thoroughly and making sure, because in reality, when you really think about it, even if there was no virus, we kind of probably should have been doing these things beforehand. So those are things that I'm probably going to just go about life, doing. And I'm probably going to teach my son to do the same thing because it does help. And honestly, during this time, it's helped me get my life back together. It gave me a pause, and I needed a pause in my life where I could focus on the things that I just had no time to do.
Yes.
Buying furniture, getting my house back together, making it feel like a home instead of a shell of a house. So those things matter. So I think I'm probably gonna just go with the new stuff.
Has this time at home, has it also helped you focus on just what you need and not what you want?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I want to go to Home Goods. I can't go to Home Goods. I love Home much. I love that place. I used to go there on my lunch break and just walk the aisles and buy stuff. So I can't do that, but it's also helped me relax with my spending. I want my son to go to daycare, but he's not going right now, but it's also helping me save towards home ownership. So it's kind of, you got to weigh the good with the bad. And I'm a firm believer in looking at the glass half full now, rather than half empty. We're in the house,
Yes, that's ultimately the goal. And I think that has helped everybody. You said pause. I say a massive reset button for everybody. And absolutely, it's about moving forward. You talked about your cleanliness. I tell anybody that I see, anybody I know, the last time that I shook your hand, that'd be the last time. The last time we slap five, that will be it. Yep. Elbows and Black Panther style. We cross arms. Let's go a little bit deeper. You're a mom of a son. What do you think of everything that's going on?
Okay. I didn't think you were going to ask that.
Very lightly.
What I believe is that at the end of the day, every man, no matter what ethnicity they are, was somebody's baby, no matter what. And just thinking of it, the possibility of it being my son breaks my heart, and it's a conversation that I have to learn to have with my son as an African American. We have to have that talk. And sometimes it's much earlier than you think you're going to have it, but you're going to have that conversation just so that they're prepared on how to handle life. But, it's scary.
It's a scary reality. As you know, I'm the father of 3 sons. So these are conversations that I've had, that I'll continue to have. But Jennifer, it's also challenging me to have some uncomfortable conversations that I've never had before, that I think I'm going to begin to have. My original vision for doing Wind Down with Kev was just relaxing conversations. But as I progress in it, I'm going to have diverse guests. And I'm going to ask all of my guests some really difficult questions and some fun questions, because we depend on each other.
Right.
Black people, white people, Hispanic people, we depend on each other. We have to live in this world together, and we have to learn how to do it together. And the only way I think to do it is to openly talk about our differences, how we are raised, what we think of the other one, and how can we get past it. So I'm challenging myself to have conversations I've never had before. I want to be able to comfortably ask people questions like, Jennifer, how many white friends do you have?
Believe it or not, I have about 3. And they have been on the front lines protesting. And I have been like, you be all right. You be okay out there, One of my friends, I actually met her in school when I was going to school to be an esthetician. And she sat next to me. She was super quiet. And I was talkative Black girl. I just kept talking to her. And I wore her down. And eventually she became one of my closest friends. When we moved from the fire, her and her boyfriend were right at our house helping us move. They were the only people that came. And, this has been very difficult for her because she's in an interracial relationship. Her boyfriend is African American. Well, he's mixed, so he's both. But it's been very difficult for her, to see this kind of thing. And, she's even apologized to me, and I'm like, there's nothing for you to apologize for. But I appreciate that we can have this conversation together and that you're not uncomfortable. And she's like, it's not right. And I'm going to do everything I can to make a change about it. And that to me is true friendship. And it doesn't matter that she's white. And I have a uncle who's white. My aunt married a white man. And So we have like a little United Nations in my family. So I have never looked at, it that way until I got much older. And it was a shock for me. My godfather is white. My uncle is white, so I've never been anything to them but Jennifer. And then when I got on the outside world, despite having multiple conversations with my mother, in my mind, I believed, oh, that ain't gonna happen to me. And then it happened to me. I was like, whoa there.
But that's good. You were raised right, and you've developed good friendships. And I think we all have to remember that we're individuals. We're not Black with a series of behaviors that follow. Our friends are not white with a series of predisposed behaviors that follow. They're individuals that we've gotten to know and that we like. And regardless of what happens in the outside world, we can't move away from that, because I think change is going to happen one person at a time, but we must keep moving forward. We can't be swayed by anything to do anything differently.
Right, absolutely. And I thank God for her, because she's so great. She loves my son, and we don't look at it that way. And I hope that the rest of the world gets in tune with that, because I'm sure she probably had her reservations, and she was proven, she was like, oh, hey, this girl's cool, I hope.
No, that's a great story to share. Jennifer, we've been talking for a little while. Tell me something that I should have asked you about your business that I didn't ask you. I saw pictures that you were with another celebrity. You were with Yandy from Love and Hip Hop.
Oh yes, Yandy is amazing. She and I have developed like a little bond outside of makeup. When I got in the fire, she started dialing up the phone. She called me on the phone. She prayed with me. And she's just been another great client. Like, I don't always service her, but she is just such an awesome person. And she's also on the front lines, protesting and speaking up for what she believes is right. And I'm super proud of her for that. And when I got in the fire, like I said, she called a couple of makeup companies for me, for them to send me stuff. And one company sent me every item that they had.
Awesome.
So, yeah. And I also have a very good relationship with Taj from SWV as well. She's awesome. She sent 2 boxes that were 80 pounds each from, I believe she's in Texas. And I was like, are you crazy? She's like, anything you need. If you need anything, I'm very lucky and blessed to have clients that I've developed personal relationships with outside of makeup, because I believe that is better than anything. And it also extends your reach too, so.
It's 3 rules that I live by in business, and certainly I've seen these rules apply to you. Number 1, people have to get to know you.
Yeah.
Number 2, they have to get to like you. Then they do business with you. I've coached so many people that have entered 1,000 different businesses, and they get that order messed up all the time. It's, look at me, I'm selling phones today. Please buy a phone for me. Oh, Jennifer, I meant to call you. I'm selling pens. Please buy a pen for me. I'm doing this. Please do it. And they're so fast, they get so frustrated. It's like, relax, get to know people.
Oh, success is not a fast thing. When I tell you there are peaks and valleys, that's just the best way to say it. It's literally a roller coaster. 1 minute I was booked every 5 minutes as a makeup artist, and the next minute it slowed down, and I jumped right on that 9-to-5 trail to continue to feed the dream. Yes. And that's what you have to do. You have to feed the dream until you make it far enough that you can, take that risk and jump out the window.
I like those words, feed the dream. I thought I had a lock on all the positive quotes in the world. I haven't seen those 3 words put together, feed the dream. I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot.
That's my husband's favorite thing that I ever say, and sometimes he uses it against me. He's like, you got to feed the dream, right? And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Well, he applied that concept when he encouraged you to get in the car and go take that appointment. So it's clear that he's a believer. Your husband, Ron, he's awesome. I like him a lot. Love talking to him so much. Just an excellent guy. And you guys are a beautiful young couple. I wish you nothing but health, wealth, and happiness. from here until infinity. So before we toast and close out this episode of Wind Down with Kev, please tell people how to get in touch with you.
Okay, so you can email me at info@beat, BEAT, like a punch, by J Ashley, JASHLEY.com, or you can look me up on Instagram at _Jennifer Ashley.
Awesome. Please look her up. Please follow her page. Her work speaks volumes for herself. And if you've listened to this, when you listen to this episode, you will get to know her a little bit. You'll definitely like her. And I definitely want you to do business with her. So this is Kevin Spann, the insurance guru, signing off. Let's do one final toast.
Yes.
Okay, this is to you, to your family, to health, wealth, and happiness, and to your business. All good things. Signing off. Wind Down with Kev. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Wind Down with Kev. You can find Kevin Spann, the insurance guru, on Facebook at AKS Insurance, Instagram at Kevin Spann _insurance guru, and on Twitter at Kevin Spann Guru. Have a topic you would like to discuss or a guest you would like to see on the show? Send Kevin an email at kevinspann@allstate.com.